Young and the Restless. Claire's betrayal and Billy's proposal spark steamy couples drama. First, I want to talk about Billy and Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, and a big move he makes this week. Billy, Jason Thompson, as you know, is a wild card when it comes to relationships. He doesn't have the best track record. Not only does he take risks and gambles wildly, not just with money, but also with love and feelings, but he's also been known to cheat. The larger issue is that he is unreliable, as his exes will tell you. Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, has been let down by Billy more times than I can count. Plus, he was unfaithful to her. One of the biggest betrayals I can think of was when he slept with Summer Newman, Allison Lanier, while he had been seeing her mom, Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford. That happened right before he went off to gambling rehab. What a way to leave Genoa City. To be fair, Billy has also been handed his fair share of heartache by the women in his life, most notably his mother, Jill Abbott, Jess Walton. Billy's mommy issues make things very hard in his relationships. Young and the Restless. Billy heartbroken by Phyllis. If you don't remember, he had just proposed to Phyllis and they were sitting together at Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case's most recent wedding when the bride blew up and Sharon revealed that Nick and Phyllis had slept together. Billy immediately called off their engagement about 5 minutes after he'd proposed. When he was seeing Chelsea Lawson Newman, Melissa Claire Egan, about a year ago, she fell back into bed with her ex, Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, who is Billy's chief nemesis. The worst possible person she could have cheated with. Billy and Sally on solid ground. However, I will say that Billy has been a pretty good partner to Sally, and he hasn't really let her down yet like he's done in the past with other relationships. At the same time, Sally has her eyes wide open about Billy. When he wouldn't let up on the idea of pursuing Chancellor, Sally put her foot down and demanded that Billy respect the risk she took by leaving Marchetti. That's when he named Sally the CEO of Abbott.com. This week, Billy makes some sort of commitment to Sally. I don't think it's about business simply because Billy already named Sally CEO of the company. I get the feeling that what Billy does is more personal, and hopefully more romantic. Although Sally and Billy got involved pretty much as a rebound when Adam and Chelsea cheated on them, it's clearly grown into a real relationship with real feelings. Which way will Billy go on Young and the Restless? I suspect Billy may ask Sally to move in with him. But what I think would be much more romantic and obviously much more of a commitment is if Billy proposes to Sally, because she has stuck with him through thick and thin. I definitely think she's proved she is a loyal partner. Then again, if Billy asks Sally to marry him, I'm not sure she'd say yes because she may think this is him gambling again, but gambling on love. She may want to take it more slowly. Sally may prefer to move in with Billy and give it a test run before she commits. Either way, there is a really big change coming for Sally and Billy. YandR spoilers. Kyle Abbott's proposal backfires, pushing Claire Grace Newman towards Holden Novak? Speaking of big changes, Claire might be contemplating a major shift in her life. Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, messes up so badly by proposing to Claire this week, hot on the heels of confessing that he had been lying to her about Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver. Claire asked for some time to think things through, but instead, Kyle pressed for them to move in together and get engaged. This week, Claire snaps at him and asks, "What's next?" "A baby." She feels like things with Kyle are out of control. He's moving way too fast after being dishonest with her. It's important to remember this is Claire's first and only relationship, and she's got some serious emotional issues because she was raised by crazy, vengeful Jordan Howard, Colleen Zenk. Claire already warned Kyle that dishonesty was a trigger for her. But he didn't listen to Claire and he didn't listen to his parents, Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, and Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, when they said, "Slow your roll." Kyle went ahead and pulled out that big old ring. When Claire asked when he had bought it, Kyle said he did it that same day on Young and the Restless. Claire rethinking everything on Young and the Restless. From Claire's perspective, Kyle got caught in a lie. He'd been kissing another woman. Claire isn't sure whether he intended to cheat or not. Then he ran and bought a ring and proposed. Of course, she's skeptical. Claire walks out on the proposal and refuses to kiss him goodnight. Then she runs into Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, who has a huge crush on her. When he asks what's wrong and encourages Claire to talk to him, she decides she wants to get drunk because she has never been drunk before. Of course, Holden is totally down with that. What I'm wondering is whether Claire may wake up in bed with Holden. That would probably shock Claire, but I know it would thrill Holden because he is head over heels in a big old crush on her. Since Claire has never been drunk, she's probably a real lightweight, and she's been doing all these first-time experiences. You never know. Claire cheats on Kyle? This might be her first experience cheating on a boyfriend. What I think is interesting about this, though, is I actually don't think if she got drunk and slept with Holden, Claire would lie to Kyle Michael Mealer about it. If she wakes up with Holden Nathan Owens, I think she'll go, whoops. But then she probably won't be a hypocrite, and I think she would come clean to him. This would kind of put Claire on the back foot, because Kyle did stop short of sleeping with Audra. But at the same time, Claire doesn't know if he intended to stop, or maybe it was happenstance. Remember, Audra told her, he kissed me in Paris. What still hasn't come out is the whole truth, because it wasn't just a kiss on Young and the Restless. Kyle's still hiding the whole truth. Audra came to his door scheming right after they found out Damian Kane, Jermaine Rivers, had died. Kyle answered the door in a towel, presumably wearing nothing else, and then they started making out. They wound up on the bed. He was on top of her in only a towel, and then finally stopped it. But there was full body contact. I think everybody was watching that going, whoa, is this going to stop or not? So, if Claire had a snapshot of what happened in that train car, I don't think she would feel very bad if she woke up next to Holden. If it does happen that way, honestly, Kyle has nobody to blame but himself. We'll see how this week shakes out, and whether we have Billy and Sally getting much closer to a happily ever after, and Kyle and Claire getting much further away from their happy ending. Genoa City is a tinderbox this week on the Young and the Restless, and the sparks are flying hotter than ever. At the center of the storm is Claire Grace, whose shocking betrayal threatens to unravel everything in her carefully curated world, and Billy Abbott, whose sudden, heartfelt proposal throws another wrench into the already chaotic web of love, deception, and ambition. As passions collide, loyalties are tested, and hearts are broken, fans are left on the edge of their seats, because in Genoa City, the line between romance and ruin is thinner than ever. It all started with Claire. Known for her grace, charm, and razor-sharp business instincts, Claire has always seemed the model of integrity. But recent weeks have revealed cracks in her armor. Sources say that Claire made a secretive move that blindsided not just Kyle Abbott, but also the entire Abbott clan. A covert deal with Adam Newman that could shift the balance of power at Newman Enterprises and Chancellor Winters forever. While Claire insists it was strictly business, the fallout has been anything but professional. The betrayal came to light at a high-stakes corporate event that doubled as a society gala, a setting ripe for secrets and scandals. Kyle, who had trusted Claire implicitly, was blindsided when he discovered her alignment with Adam through a leaked email chain. The revelation was catastrophic, sending Kyle into a whirlwind of confusion and anger. "I can't believe she did this behind my back," Kyle confided to Devin, visibly shaken and betrayed. "Claire was supposed to be my partner in everything. How could she?" Fans were equally stunned as Claire tried to justify her actions. In her defense, she argued that her alliance with Adam was purely tactical, a way to gain leverage in a ruthless business landscape. But in Genoa City, even business moves are personal, and Adam's name alone is enough to trigger suspicion, jealousy, and heartache. Her excuse did little to assuage Kyle's sense of betrayal, and the tension between them reached a boiling point. Just when the drama around Claire seemed set to dominate headlines, Billy Abbott entered the fray in the most dramatic fashion possible. Known for his impulsive romantic gestures, Billy appeared at the Abbott estate with a proposal that caught everyone off guard, especially Victoria, who had been carefully managing her own tumultuous relationship with Billy. Sources say that Billy, driven by a surge of passion and longing, dropped to one knee during an intimate family dinner, presenting Victoria with a sparkling ring and a heartfelt plea. "I don't care what the world throws at us. I want you by my side forever." The proposal ignited an entirely new layer of chaos. While Victoria was visibly touched, she was also stunned, emotionally torn between the past hurts she's endured with Billy and the promise of a future he was suddenly offering. Her hesitation sparked whispers across Genoa City that Billy might be chasing more than just Victoria's heart. Some speculate he might be attempting to assert dominance over the Abbott family dynamics, especially with Kyle reeling from Claire's betrayal. Meanwhile, Claire's betrayal and Billy's proposal collided in unexpected ways. On one side, Kyle was struggling to process the fact that Claire, the woman he trusted most, had seemingly allied herself with Adam, the very person he sees as a constant threat to the Abbott empire. On the other, Victoria was caught in the emotional crossfire of Billy's impassioned proposal, leaving room for old flames to reignite and new tensions to flare. As if that weren't enough, Lily Abbott has been closely monitoring the situation, her maternal instincts on high alert as she contemplates the long-term fallout for both her children. Complicating matters further, Sources hint that there may be lingering feelings between Claire and Adam that go beyond business. While nothing has been confirmed on-screen, fans have speculated that the two might share a chemistry that could destabilize the Abbott-Newman alliance entirely. If this is true, it could mean not just heartbreak for Kyle, but an entirely new era of romantic and corporate intrigue in Genoa City. Adding fuel to the fire, Billy's proposal was witnessed by Sharon, who is no stranger to Abbott family drama. Sharon's presence during the proposal was enough to raise eyebrows, with some insiders suggesting that she may play a pivotal role in steering Victoria's decision, or in complicating it further. Could Sharon's own complicated feelings for Billy and her loyalty to Victoria create a tangled triangle of emotional warfare? Only time will tell, but the seeds of drama are already planted. Amid all this, Genoa City's social scene has been abuzz with speculation. From whispered conversations at Crimson Lights to heated debates at society gatherings, Claire and Billy's intertwined dramas have become the talk of the town. Fans on social media have been dissecting every scene, every glance, every hesitation. The consensus? Genoa City may never recover from this dual shockwave of betrayal and romance. Behind the scenes, insiders suggest that these storylines are far from over. Claire's choices are expected to have cascading effects on her personal and professional life, with Kyle confronting not just betrayal but the possibility of retribution. Meanwhile, Billy's proposal may be the start of a volatile roller coaster for Victoria, one that could see alliances shift, romances rekindle, and rivalries escalate to previously unimaginable heights. In addition to the romantic entanglements, the corporate ramifications are significant. Adam's resurgence as a power player in Newman Enterprises, now with Claire in his corner, could tip the scales of influence and control, forcing Kyle, Billy, and Victoria into strategic maneuvers that go beyond matters of the heart. In true Young and the Restless fashion, love and business are never mutually exclusive, and every personal choice carries professional consequences. As the week progresses, viewers can expect to see emotionally charged confrontations, steamy exchanges, and perhaps even shocking reversals. Will Kyle forgive Claire, or will their relationship crumble under the weight of deception? Will Victoria accept Billy's proposal, or will doubt and lingering resentment prevent her from saying yes? And could Adam and Claire's mysterious connection evolve into something that reshapes the power and passion dynamics of Genoa City? One thing is certain. The fallout from Claire's betrayal and Billy's bold proposal will reverberate across Genoa City for weeks to come. Couples are being tested, alliances are being challenged, and hearts are hanging in the balance. In a city where ambition often trumps affection and secrets have a way of exploding into public drama, the next moves by Claire, Kyle, Billy, and Victoria could change the landscape of love and power forever. Fans should buckle up. This isn't just a story of betrayal or romance. It's a simmering, multi-layered saga of passion, ambition, and desire, where every kiss, every deal, and every confession has the potential to ignite fireworks that will leave Genoa City reeling. The Young and the Restless continues to prove that when it comes to love, power, and betrayal, no one and nothing has always been a city of second chances, complicated romances, and devastating heartbreaks. But this week on The Young and the Restless, the walls of Newman Enterprises tremble as Billy Abbott faces a heartbreak that could shake him to his core. It's a saga of love, betrayal, and painful realizations. One that leaves Billy questioning not only his relationship with Phyllis Summers, but the future he thought he had secured. It all begins with what seemed like a perfect reunion. Billy, fresh from a whirlwind of business victories and personal growth, had been reconnecting with Phyllis, the woman he had longed for through countless ups and downs. For a moment, everything appeared aligned. Romantic dinners, stolen kisses, and whispered dreams about the future. Billy believed they were on the cusp of something lasting, a realignment of fate that might finally secure his place in Phyllis's heart. But in Genoa City, perfection is often an illusion. Behind Phyllis's radiant smiles and sweet reassurances, tensions simmered, fueled by her own insecurities and lingering ties to her complicated past. Billy's heart, always earnest and hopeful, couldn't anticipate the storm that was about to hit. The tipping point came at a lavish charity gala hosted by none other than Victor Newman himself. Billy arrived early, dressed sharply, anticipation coursing through him. Phyllis was already there, surrounded by admirers and colleagues, her laughter light but carrying an edge of detachment Billy couldn't quite read. They exchanged polite smiles, and for a moment Billy felt a surge of hope. This was their night, their chance to reconnect publicly and privately. However, as the evening progressed, cracks began to appear. Phyllis seemed distracted, her eyes darting toward other guests, particularly someone from her past who still held a place in her heart. Billy, noticing the subtle shift, tried to mask his rising unease, focusing on the gala's events and the people around him. But deep down, he felt a gnawing sense that something was amiss. The first blow came subtly. Phyllis made a few ambiguous comments about needing space and reflection, tossing phrases like, "I just don't know if I'm ready to give my heart fully again, and we have so much history, but maybe we're better apart." Billy, ever hopeful and idealistic, laughed them off at first, thinking it was just pre-gala nerves. But as the night wore on, the words grew heavier, each one a subtle dagger to his carefully guarded heart. The real heartbreak, however, didn't come from words, it came from actions. Later that evening, Billy glimpsed Phyllis sharing a private conversation with a familiar face, Nick Newman. His world tilted. Memories of Phyllis and Nick's complicated history flashed in his mind, a cascade of heartbreaks, betrayals, and reconciliations he had desperately hoped were behind them. But seeing them together, laughing and leaning close, was like a punch to the gut. Billy attempted to confront Phyllis privately, seeking clarity. They found a quiet corner, away from the gala's glittering chaos. He reached for her hand, his voice trembling but firm. "Phyllis, I need to know, are we really okay? Because I can't do this if there's still something else." Phyllis looked away, her eyes glistening with unspoken conflict. "Billy, I care about you, you know that. But, it's complicated. My past with Nick, it's not over in my head. I can't just switch off those feelings." The words hit Billy like an avalanche. For a man who had invested so much heart and soul into building a future with Phyllis, the admission felt like a betrayal, not just by her, but by fate itself. His dreams of stability and shared happiness with Phyllis shattered in an instant. In the days that followed, Billy's world spiraled. He withdrew from friends, avoided the bustling offices of Newman Enterprises, and spent long nights wandering the quiet streets of Genoa City. His heart ached not only from Phyllis's confession, but from the painful realization that love isn't always enough. Billy had always believed that persistence, loyalty, and honesty could overcome obstacles. But some obstacles, it seemed, were rooted too deeply in the past. Even more agonizing was watching Phyllis try to maintain their friendship, her warmth and charm a constant reminder of what could have been. Billy wanted to be near her, to hold her hand and pretend that nothing had changed, but the rational part of him, his gut, knew that lingering would only deepen the wound. Each smile from Phyllis, each casual touch, became a bittersweet reminder of a love that had slipped through his fingers. Adding fuel to the fire, Nick, ever the calculating strategist, seemed oblivious to the turmoil he was causing, or perhaps he reveled in it. His subtle maneuvers, both social and professional, kept Billy off balance. Every interaction reminded Billy that Phyllis's heart wasn't solely his to claim. He was living in a state of constant tension, torn between his lingering hope and the reality he could no longer ignore. Billy's heartbreak also rippled into his professional life. Newman Enterprises board noticed his distraction, and his typically sharp business acumen seemed dulled. Colleagues offered support, but the pain of betrayal overshadowed any corporate victory. Even his closest allies feared for his emotional well-being, watching as a man normally resilient and steadfast faltered under the weight of personal heartbreak. Yet, in true Young and the Restless fashion, Billy's story is far from over. While the pain is fresh and the wound deep, his heartbreak might serve as a catalyst for personal growth. He begins to channel his emotional turmoil into constructive outlets, new business ventures, philanthropic initiatives, and creative problem-solving. While Phyllis remains a tender and complicated presence in his life, Billy starts to realize that his worth isn't solely defined by her affections. In the meantime, Phyllis faces her own inner conflict. She sees the genuine heartbreak she's caused, and guilt shadows her interactions with Billy. Her flirtation with the past, her indecision, isn't malicious, it's human. But the consequences are real. A man she once claimed to love is now left questioning everything, from their shared history to the possibility of a future together. Fans of The Young and the Restless can expect this heartbreak to unfold dramatically over the coming weeks. There will be confrontations, tearful reconciliations, and perhaps shocking revelations from other corners of Genoa City that could either mend or further shatter Billy's heart. It's a story of love's fragility, the complexity of human emotions, and the courage it takes to face heartbreak without losing oneself. As Billy navigates the tumultuous waters of love and loss, viewers are reminded why The Young and the Restless continues to capture hearts. The show doesn't shy away from portraying the raw, sometimes painful realities of relationships, showing that even in a city filled with wealth, power, and intrigue, the human heart remains vulnerable, unpredictable, and resilient. In the end, Billy Abbott's heartbreak over Phyllis Summers is more than a personal tragedy. It's a mirror reflecting the universal struggles of love, trust, and moving forward. And as Genoa City watches, there's no telling what choices Billy will make next. Will he fight for Phyllis against the odds, retreat to heal his wounds, or chart an entirely new path for his life? One thing is certain. The city will never look at love the same way again. Genoa City had been a city of storms, as it always was, but for once Billy Abbott felt like he could finally breathe. The chaos, the betrayals, and the heartbreaks had been relentless lately, and yet, as he watched Sally Spectra approach the patio of society, a rare sense of calm settled over him. The sunlight caught her hair, making it glow like spun gold, and the warmth of her smile made the hard edges of his recent trials soften. "Hey," she greeted, her voice like a bomb. "I thought you'd already left the office." "I needed a minute," Billy replied, offering a smile that felt more genuine than anything he'd managed in weeks. "And I think I wanted to see you." Sally tilted her head, curiosity and something softer, something tender, shimmering in her eyes. "Is that a good thing or a bad thing?" Billy chuckled. "I'd like it to be a really good thing." The two had been through so much, the endless back and forth of business deals, family betrayals, and the tangled web of romantic complications. But with each passing day, it became clearer to Billy that Sally wasn't just another complicated chapter in his life. She was a grounding force, someone who made him want to be better, steadier, and more himself. Sally took a seat across from him, the casual elegance she carried so effortlessly contrasting with the whirlwind life Billy seemed perpetually trapped in. "You look peaceful," she observed almost teasingly. "That's not something I usually associate with you." Billy's grin was wistful. "I'm trying. I've realized something important." He leaned forward, resting his elbows on the table. "Life's too short to keep fighting shadows, Sally. I want to be on solid ground with someone I trust. Someone who gets me. You." For a moment the bustling city noise faded, leaving only the quiet hum of possibility between them. Sally felt a warmth spread through her chest. She had known Billy for years, seen the different versions of him. The fighter, the schemer, the desperate man clinging to family loyalty. But this was a version of Billy she hadn't seen enough of. Honest, vulnerable, ready to step into stability. "Billy," she started, her voice soft, almost hesitant. "Are you sure? Because I've seen how messy things get. Families, work, our lives never exactly stay neat." Billy reached out, covering her hand with his own. "I know, but I've learned that solid ground doesn't mean perfect. It means standing together through the mess, not running from it. And I want that with you." Sally's heart raced. She had wanted this, wanted him, but the specter of past heartbreaks always loomed. She swallowed, then let herself relax. For the first time in a long time, she felt a sense of clarity. "Then let's do it," she said. "Solid ground. No more running, no more pretending." Billy's smile broke into a relieved laugh. "You have no idea how long I've wanted to hear you say that." As they sat there, a rare sense of peace enveloped them. It wasn't just the absence of drama, it was the presence of connection. It was the knowledge that despite everything, they had found something real, something enduring, something worth fighting for. Their conversation meandered from the trivial, coffee preferences, the absurdity of Genoa City's latest social gossip, to the deeper currents that bound them. Billy spoke of his fears, the pressure of carrying the Abbott legacy, and the constant feeling that he had to fix everything. Sally listened, offering her insight, her empathy, and most importantly, her unwavering support. "You know," she said with a small smirk, "you're really lucky I like you, because otherwise I'd be rolling my eyes at all this serious talk." Billy laughed. "Lucky me indeed. But seriously, Sally, you make all the chaos make sense. You make it feel like I can handle it." For Sally, those words were more than a compliment. They were a promise. And she responded with one of her own. "Then we'll handle it together. Whatever comes, we face it side by side." Solid ground, Billy. That's us now. As the afternoon sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the patio, they shared a quiet moment, a sense of serenity that had been foreign to both of them in recent months. There were still battles to fight, corporate rivalries, family tensions, and the occasional meddling Newman or Abbott. But for now, they could simply exist together, grounded in the certainty of mutual trust and affection. Just then, a familiar voice called from across the room. "Billy! Sally!" It was Victoria Newman, looking surprised to see them together. Her expression was unreadable, but there was a flicker of acknowledgement that something was different about this pairing. Billy straightened, offering a polite nod. "Hey, Victoria." Victoria's sharp eyes softened slightly as she took in the calm between them. "You both look happy," she said. And for once it wasn't laced with sarcasm or skepticism. "Good for you." Sally exchanged a quick glance with Billy, and in that glance was a silent acknowledgement. This wasn't just a fleeting reprieve. This was real. And while Genoa City could throw storms their way at any moment, they had found something worth holding on to. Later that evening, as they walked along the quiet streets near the Abbott mansion, their hands brushed and then intertwined. Neither spoke immediately. Words were unnecessary. The city's usual tension seemed to fade when they were together. They shared a quiet smile, a mutual understanding that life was unpredictable, but some things could be trusted. Billy finally broke the silence. "You know, for all the chaos around us, I think it's the first thing I've felt truly sure of in a long time." Sally squeezed his hand. "Me too, Billy. Solid ground isn't about never falling. It's about finding someone who catches you. And I think we've both found that." Under the soft glow of streetlights, the pair walked on, side by side, ready to face whatever challenges Genoa City had in store. There was no grand declaration, no dramatic twist, just the quiet, steady pulse of mutual trust, affection, and the beginnings of something lasting. For Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra, the storms of Genoa City would continue, as they always did. But for now, they had solid ground beneath their feet, and each other's hands to hold. And in a world as unpredictable as theirs, that was enough.